Welcome to this week's Movie Math, where Marvel Studios won yet another box office battle. While Iron Man remains the crown jewel in their cinematic universe, it looks like the mega success of the Avengers has brought their other superheroes to the next level. Thor: The Dark World easily took the #1 spot with 86 million. That's the fourth biggest opening of the year and a considerable improvement on the debut of the first Thor. But still, it wasn't a total victory for Marvel Studios. First off, with its impressive overseas debut last weekend, industry insiders had expected Thor: The Dark World to open here with another 100 million. The industry trades also unanimously pointed out that Thor 2 couldn't top Skyfall's debut, which opened at the same time last year, although one could easily argue that noting a $2 million difference is petty. However, it is worth pointing out that Thor: The Dark World came in way behind Man of Steel, adding some credibility to a common complaint from DC fans that Marvel movies go for quantity over quality. But don't expect to see Thor crying into his mead. Overseas, the sequel has already pulled in over 240 million in 2 weeks, more than the first Captain America's entire foreign haul and almost that of the original Thor. Furthermore, Thor has brought in a new demographic to the Marvel fold: female moviegoers. Women made up almost half of Thor: The Dark World's audience on Friday and about a third for the entire weekend. Here's hoping Marvel Studios is smart enough to realize that's all thanks to Tom Hiddleston, who, as I said in my own review, really deserves his own movie at this point. Disney already has him doing a cameo in their upcoming Muppets Most Wanted, plus voice work in their direct-to-DVD Tinkerbell movie, The Pirate Fairy. But Guillermo del Toro has also bet on Hiddleston, bringing him on to replace Benedict Cumberbatch in Crimson Peak for 2015. Expect Tinseltown to be watching that flick closely to see if Hiddleston can deliver at the box office when he's not decked out in his Asgardian finest. As for the rest of the box office, no other picture wanted to go up against Thor, Loki, and The Warriors 3. However, some films did take the opportunity to expand their runs with mixed results. 12 Years a Slave jumped to over 1,000 theaters, and while it did jump to #7, its per-theater average seems to indicate this is as wide as it can go for now. Fox Searchlight might not even be able to keep it in theaters all the way up to the Oscars, and being somewhat rejected by audiences could certainly dampen awards enthusiasm for what started out as a white-hot contender. About Time also expanded to over 1,000 theaters, but only managed to reach #9, and a similarly tepid per-theater average indicates this UK comedy won't expand any further either. Meanwhile, last weekend's Freebirds in Las Vegas each enjoyed a small drop of about 30%, but Ender's Game plummeted over 60%. It has yet to open in a number of countries overseas, but don't expect to see Ender and Company on the big screen again. In the specialty market, The Book Thief opened in just 4 theaters, but with a promising per-theater average. Look for the adaptation to try and go a little wider over the next few weeks, yet it might be hard with another tough female literary heroine set to storm the box office in just 2 weeks. Speaking of Katniss, this coming weekend we find ourselves in a no man's land between Thor: The Dark World and Hunger Games: Catching Fire. The Best Man Holiday hopes to swoop in and make some fast cash, and is indeed expected to open with almost 2/3 of the first film's entire domestic box office haul. That would also put it way ahead of this year's Misfire's Baggage Claim and Peoples, much needed proof to Hollywood that this is still a lucrative genre. And that's the weekend box office. I'm Grace Randolph, and we just did some movie math. As always, thanks for watching, and I hope we'll go beyond the trailer for these other top movies.